What is up? This is Jack McNeil, LB Talk 123 here. Hope you guys are having a great night. Now, before we dive into the big news from the Bronx and talk about the Yankees offseason, I want to say follow me on Twitter at LB Talk 123. It would be much appreciated. I'm really starting to use Twitter more, and you guys can keep up to date on my new baseball podcast going through MLB Nation and Real Sports Talk. So definitely check that out. Now, let's dive into the issue at stake here. It is the New York Yankees. Now, a few years ago, the Yankees were the team spending the most money in baseball. Now, the West Coast has taken over the East Coast. You have the Angels and the Dodgers signing the biggest free agents out there. You see the Angels jump in as a shock, really, in signing Josh Hamilton. And, of course, Zach Greinke to the Dodgers. Now, technically, the Yankees still might be able to get him in a few years when they get this payroll problem a little down because there is an opt-out in the contract. So, yes, Zach Greinke could realistically become even more richer and have an even more ridiculous contract that he has right now. But will the Yankees pay for it? Probably not. Because of the anxiety problems and just his kind of personality, I think that they would look at that as kind of a risk bringing to a huge media market in New York. That being said, he did choose to go to LA. So we'll see how he does there. But the New York Yankees are a team that have been out there getting the top free agents for so many years. And this offseason, the storyline, the youngest acquisition for the Yankees has been Kevin Youkilis, a 33-year-old injury-plagued, hated enemy of the New York Yankees, a Boston Red Sox, a 33-year-old. He's had injuries in every year except 2008. I mean, this is a guy who has played around 120 games for the last few years on average. I mean, this is not a huge signing. This is someone in years past that could have been a complimentary player. Ichiro, they're signing today. This isn't, they acquired him to be a backup player, to be a complimentary player, to add because Brett Gardner was injured, to add some speed to the lineup. I mean, this is someone to ignite the fan base. This is not supposed to be your starting right fielder for the New York Yankees. But this offseason, you have to realize their situation, you have to get over it, and you have to deal with it. Now, in a year, it can be completely different. The Yankees, in my mind, just have to get through this year and be somewhat successful. After the last ALCS, it was an absolute disaster. I mean, Derek Jeter got hurt, and that really just everything went downhill. But it wasn't just Jeter. I mean, this was Swisher, this was Granderson, this was no one in the middle of the lineup was hitting. Teixeira, everyone. And now the Yankees, they have all these, powerful lefties. They need some right-handed hitting. So, yes, they signed Ichiro, they have Gardner, they have Granderson. That's a lot of lefties in their outfield, a lot of power, a lot of swing and miss with Granderson. Whether he will be traded or not, I don't think he will. I mean, yes, it's possible. If there's a deal out there and someone is willing to overpay for major league ready talent that the Yankees can put in center field, then I think obviously the Yankees will do it because this saves money. They're trying to get under that luxury tax for next year. They already have hit past the luxury tax. They're paying around $20 million in taxes to the MLB this year. Now, you add up the taxes, you're probably like, why do the Yankees care? The Dodgers obviously don't. The Yankees have paid around $300 million in luxury taxes since it started. And the rate for luxury taxes just keep getting higher. So it is a problem. You do not want to be, as an organization, above a tax set by the MLB. Yes, it's not a salary cap. I don't know when MLB will have salary cap. Maybe the Dodgers will be the team that forces the major leagues to have a salary cap, which I think would probably be a great thing, to be honest with you. I think it's pretty ridiculous how the Dodgers could realistically spend $300 million in a season, and the Pirates or the Marlins could get away spending 30. Excuse me, not the Pirates. The Pirates are almost at 70. The Marlins could be at 30. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. But getting back to the signing here, Ichiro, it's a great signing for the Yankees in the sense that they need him. They absolutely need him. And they got him at a little bit of a bargain. I mean, 2 years, $13 million, it could be a lot worse. That's $6.5 million per year. For a guy like Ichiro, for what he does to the fan base, for what he has provided with the Yankees, I mean, he was one of the only ones who was really hitting in the playoffs. Now, this is someone who had very good numbers when he was with the Yankees, and the Yankees do buy into a little bit into the, could he get to 3,000 hits in the major leagues? He's only about 400 hits away. Now, yes, that would require him to do about 2 more 200-hit seasons. Is that realistic? Probably not, especially when I don't think, maybe next year that he'll get all playing time, and this year even too. You don't know if he's going to get all the playing time needed. So will he reach 2,000 hits by the end of this contract and sell a lot of jerseys and get that Japanese market in there? Probably not. But again, you have to remember, New York is a huge market. And to have that many American Japanese fans or even the fans from Japan watching this team even closely and get lifelong fans from signing a guy like Ichiro, it's very possible the Yankees are looking at something like that. But more importantly, they need Ichiro. They need his speed. There aren't that many options for the outfield other than going with the expensive Michael Bourne type of guy. So Ichiro is a very good signing for them to get. When Ichiro was traded from the Mariners, his franchise team, he was there his whole career. It was a huge deal. I mean, I made a video at the time and it got like something like 20,000 views. I mean, just so many more than any other because it's such a big market. And seeing the biggest Japanese Major League Baseball player in history and probably ever to ever play the game. I mean, there's a guy who almost will get probably 3,000 hits in the major leagues, not including his hits from Japan. I mean, if he had played his whole career here, I can't imagine how many hits he would have, and he would be, breaking records here and there. So this guy is absolutely amazing. He can hit for power when he needs to. That's why I think he can really use that short left porch there. If he wants to turn on the power, he can. He has great speed. He has a great arm, one of the best defenders in baseball. Yes, his numbers had been declining the last few years, but when he joined the Yankees, there was something about that. It was just almost so nostalgic in a way. And he hit above 300. He hit 320. So I think the Yankees are they want the defense. If they're not going to be able to get a power bat and they're not going to be able to fix this offense until they can get some money to spend and they can really get creative with trades and build up that farm system again, maybe they just don't think that they're going to be the best team in baseball again. I mean, they won 96 wins last year. You have to realistically look at your competition. The AL East is open for anyone. You see the Blue Jays getting a lot better. They could be trading for Ari Dickey. I really don't know how they're going to play, but they look great on paper. They keep getting better and better, but there's still a lot of question marks. Look at the Boston Red Sox. They signed more and more veterans. I love what they're doing for the clubhouse, but I think they are putting a lot of money into the theory of getting the clubhouse clean and hopefully you'll play better. I don't know if all those veterans will actually produce what they need to, especially what their contracts are saying. And you have the Orioles. I don't even know what to expect with the Orioles, to be honest with you. They need to get something done, though. They just signing Nate McLeod is not good enough. They need to get someone like Edwin Jackson. They need to get significantly better this offseason. They're not doing that. And of course, you have the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, it seems like the Rays, no matter how low their payroll is, no matter who they had to trade, no matter who they had to cut, no matter what big free agent left, they always are competing. They find a way. Joe Maddon is, in my mind, the best manager out there. I think any team would be absolutely ecstatic to be able to get him, and I wish that my favorite team would have him. I mean, he's great with the players. He knows how to maximize the potential out of every player. So I think Will Myers will do very well there, no doubt about it. I don't hate the trade from the Kansas City side though. I think that they acquired two very good pitchers and one ace, and I think that they can lock him up for the next few years. So I think it was a good trade for them. But you have to watch what you perceive value for prospects and look at a few years ago. Some of the top prospects who just haven't panned out. But I do think Will Myers will be a fantastic player for years to come. And when you have him and Evan Longoria in that lineup, I like the signing of James Loney. I think they got a lot better with Yanel Escobar. I mean, this team got a lot better. I think a few veteran additions to their bullpen, and they're set to go. They're going to be right at the top in the AL East. The Yankees will be there. Now, a lot of people are bagging the Yankees on these old veterans, some injury risk there. And yes, of course, they had to overpay for guys, their own guys like Andy Pettitte. It's either play for the Yankees or retire. Mariano Rivera, these guys are not going to get $12, $13 million on one-year deals in the market. But it's the Yankees. I mean, what I don't understand is they're giving all these guys contracts, and they also act like they don't have the money. I think it's really a one-year proposition. I really do. I think they're going to completely have a new game plan after this year. They have to find a way to not get killed by the media and to at least have a good year, get above 90 wins. Obviously, fans are not just going to accept that. They want to get back to a World Series. They want to be able to beat the Tigers. They want to not have that public embarrassment in the ALCS. They want A-Rod to come back, and they want Derek Jeter to be healthy. While all of those things are, realistic possibilities, I don't think the chances of the Yankees getting to the World Series or winning are very high. But that can change, of course. We don't know yet. And, I don't say that to offend anyone. Any Yankees fans, you might be extremely excited about this Ichiro deal. Yes, I would be too. I mean, you have one of the best players in the game. You have a 10-time All-Star. You have, all these credentials for Ichiro. And yes, he's not going to provide you, in his prime, those numbers. But he's going to be a lot for the clubhouse. He's going to be a great addition for the next, this team for the next few years. And he hit very well with the Yankees. So you never know what he'll be able to do. I think he could become a playoff hero. You never know. The Yankees need to get to the playoffs first. And they have a lot of question marks. They have a lot of ifs. And you know what? I hope the best for them. It's going to be a very competitive division. Let me know what you guys think. comment, please subscribe, and also follow me on Twitter as well. And tune in for my new baseball podcast. It's going to be great. Some guests like Matthew Leach and others and players. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys.